Scott and Zach Weech. Here we go. Green flag in the air. Scott and Blair side by side into 1 and 2. Down the backstretch. Door to door. Blair with a slight edge entering turn 3. Caution on the speedway. Ryan Scott loses a handle in 1 and 2. Even Steven coming off turn 4. Green flag. Down the backstretch off turn 2. It's David Scott by a 3-car length advantage. Blair falls into second. Wyatt Scott, Bryce Davis side by side for third. Scott leads lap 1. Blair to the inside of Scott. Scott slams the door, opens his lead, back up down the backstretch. Davis to the inside of Wyatt Scott for third. David Scott still leads. Max Blair all over him. Wyatt Scott third. Bryce Davis to the outside into 1. Greg Oaks down to the inside of Davis. He'll displace Davis for fourth down the backstretch. Caution again on the speedway. Ryan Scott again brings up the cone. David Scott, Max Blair, Wyatt Scott, your top 3. David Scott back to the lead. Wyatt Scott, Max Blair, side by side down the backstretch. Wyatt Scott skips to the outside. Blair second. Caution again on the speedway. 3 laps down. Let's try this again. David Scott rolls the field into 3 and 4. Delaware restart formation. Max Blair second. Bryce Davis third. Wyatt Scott, Mike Wanderling here top 5. Green flag. David Scott back to the lead. Bryce Davis to the outside of Blair. Blair back on the bottom. Scott leads. Blair is. Bryce Davis takes over second from Max Blair. 4 laps down. Blair appears to be slowing. Now Blair picks the pace back up. He displaces Davis for second momentarily. It's a 4-car foray for second. Max Blair, Bryce Davis, Mikey Wanderling, and Wyatt Scott. All the while, David Scott increases his advantage. 5 down, 25 to go. Blair second, Wyatt Scott, Mikey Wanderling side by side for third. Davis right under bumper at the bottom. David Scott's domination continues. Nearly a straightaway lead over Blair. Wyatt Scott to the inside of Mikey Wanderling for third. Bryce Davis fourth. Caution again. Bryce Davis, your top 5. Green flag. Here we go. Scott again takes advantage. Blair tightens it up. Blair deep into turn 3. Mikey Wanderling on the bottom. 3-car battle for the lead. Scott, Blair, Wanderling, Wyatt Scott. Caution again on the speedway. Max Blair second on the outside. Mikey Wanderling third. Green flag. Here we go. Scott leads into 1 and 2. Blair deep in, deep down the backstretch. Blair makes a run to the outside. Bryce Davis to the outside of Mikey Wanderling for third. 4-car battle for third. Scott on the bottom into 1. Blair deep again into 1 and 2. Down the backstretch. It's David Scott by 2-car lengths. Blair reels him in. Blair deep into 3. Max Blair really trying to make the outside go. Mikey Wanderling third. Wyatt Scott down fourth. Too close to call for fifth. Greg Oaks, Bryce Davis. David Scott is led from the drop of the green flag. Max Blair trying the outside. Wyatt Scott moves to the outside, tailing Blair. If that outside lane comes in, it'll be a 2-car, 2-wide battle the rest of the way. Blair now back to the bottom underneath David Scott. Scott at the stripe by about 5 car lengths. lengths. Wonderling third. Wyatt Scott running to top. Greg Oaks underneath Scott. For fourth, Scott shuts the door. It's still David Scott. Wonderling and Blair almost side by side for second. Big pile up in turns 1 and 2. 5 cars. It's still all David Scott. Max Blair takes the outside in the Delaware restart formation. Mikey Wonderling third. Wyatt Scott. Greg Oaks are top 5. Green flag. David Scott again opens up the advantage off the bottom. Blair deep into turn 3 again. Nothing there so far. Wonderling slips up a little on the bottom. Greg Oaks looks like he's making some noise on the outside. Top 5 cars almost nose to tail. Cross flags in the air, halfway, 15 down, 15 to go. It's been David Scott since the drop of the green flag. Blair trying to inch closer ever so slightly. Wonderling third. Greg Oaks fourth. Wyatt Scott and Bryce Davis are top 6. Wyatt Scott trying desperately to find something to work on the outside. David Scott smooth and steady off 2. Back to a half a car length advantage down the backstretch. Blair holds on to second. Wonderling third. Greg Oaks, Wyatt Scott, Bryce Davis. It's still David Scott. Blair searching for any type of advantage, trying to propel himself to the point. Thus far, he cannot even touch the bumper of David. Blair remains second. Mikey Wonderling. Wyatt Scott and Greg Oaks. Fantastic battle for third. Wyatt takes a look to the inside of Wonderling. Nothing there. Oaks deep into 3 on the outside, looking to displace them both. Wonderling shuts the door. Wonderling remains third. Oaks and Wyatt Scott side by side of the stripe for fourth. Wonderling holds the advantage at third. Oaks deep into 3 again. Oaks and Wyatt Scott side by side drag race right on the bumper of Mike Wonderling. 3-car battle for third. Bryce Davis closes the gap a little down the backstretch. Blair appears to be ever so slightly inching closer and closer to David Scott. David Scott a couple more laps from catching lap traffic. Scott, Blair, Wonderling. Oaks again, deep into 3. Wyatt Scott now noses into third, fourth, going down the backstretch. Side by side, right at the back of Wonderling. Mikey Wonderling holds him on for third. Again, Oaks, Wyatt Scott, too close to call for fourth. David Scott, your leader. Laps car number 1. 5 laps to go. 25 down, 5 to go. Blair trying to hang on to the bumper of David Scott. Max Blair, 4.5 laps to see if he has anything. Blair now closes the gap. Blair deep into turn 3. Blair right on the bumpers. They come off 4. 4 laps to go for David Scott. Max Blair again to the outside. Blair deep into 1 and 2. Wyatt Scott now third. Greg Oaks fourth. Wonderling back to fifth. Off turn 4, it's still David Scott. 3-car length advantage at the line. 3 more times around. Blair again deep into the outside corner, 1 and 2. Down the backstretch. Blair almost to the bumper of Wonderling. 2 to go. Lap cars may be a factor here in these final 2 laps. Blair with a good run off 2. Scott holds him off for now. Blair deep into 3. White flag at the stripe. David Scott by a car length. David Scott by 1 car length. Lap traffic up ahead. Blair again to the outside. Blair takes a look. Coming down the backstretch. Nothing doing so far. Caution again on the speedway. David Scott has led wire to wire. 2 to go at the stripe. Scott first. Max Blair second on the outside. Wyatt Scott to the bottom. Green flag. 2 more times around. Bradford Speedway. David Scott to the bottom. Max Blair to the outside. Tries to make something happen. Wyatt now with an advantage over Blair going into 3. White flag will be in the air this time by and a caution again. John Powell throws him the green flag. It's a 2-car shootout. David leads Max deep into 1 and 2. Max comes off. Max Blair with the lead down the backstretch. Max Blair with a slight advantage on the outside. Side by side off turn 4. It's a drag race to the flag. White flag, 1 lap to go. David Scott at the bottom. Max Blair all over to the outside. Wyatt Scott now to the bottom. 3-car battle down the backstretch. David Scott leads. Max deep into 3 and 4. They come off turn 4. Wyatt to the inside. It's David Scott, Max Blair, and Wyatt Scott. Greg Oaks, Damian Bidwell, your top 5. Congratulations, fantastic battle. Second win here at least at Bradford Speedway. You had a great battle with Max. Max charged you on the outside. You kept putting him off. He and Wyatt had a great battle behind you. Did you know all that was going on?
No, I didn't know what was going on. Like a couple times I thought I could hear somebody, and then I just was trying to hit my marks. And I mean, I'm too old to be doing this. I'm so tired. But I mean, Max is so tough, and I knew Wyatt was right there because he'd come up and flip me off under caution, you know, just to keep my heart beating.
He might have directed that to Max. I don't think there's much love between those two right now, but that's probably a story for another day. But you were dialed in. You said you were mentioned hitting your marks. You seemed like you were. It didn't seem like you made any mistakes. You were slow and steady on the bottom, and it reminded me of old-time racing here at Bradford. The leader just running the bottom and nice, smooth, and steady.
I mean, they watered it, and they give the track some grip, and I mean, it's a fun little place to race, and they move them tires down so far that I was having a hard time not overdriving the corners, and I finally slowed down a little bit, and I think I went a little faster once I slowed down. So good for Terry, good for Laser. This is the Laser that we kind of half turned into a Rayburn, so Bernheisel and Nolde got together on that, and it's kind of half Rayburn, half Laser, but it's been pretty good, and tonight we finally made it good enough to run with these guys.
Now, I know you were having some motor issues that you pulled off at McKean with a borrowed motor, low oil pressure. What'd you guys do for a power plant?
I think this is like a 20-year-old 415 with 18-degree heads on it. I mean, and that's exactly what Wyatt's got in his car. So we're for sure doing the most with the least.
Well, sometimes you don't need all that big power, especially here. I mean, and it's a lot of it's right behind the wheel and behind the guy behind the seat. A lot of experience, wins everywhere. You're one of the best drivers in the region. You showed it tonight because there was a lot of pressure behind you.
Well, I just kept hitting my marks, and nobody ever really got beside me. I mean, me and Max raced a little bit there on one restart and there at the beginning, and I mean, I just did what I was doing all night. And now I'm not gonna lie, Max surprised me on the outside on that last restart, and the old Dave Scott would have spun his tires and lost that race, but the old man Dave Scott just was careful with the throttle, and I got locked in and lurched up out of there and got him back. So,
well, congratulations on your win here. Give him a hand, David Scott.